As we see a long shot go, nice wide flick. It's straight down the sideline, a big bit, can't reel it in. I-beam not in, they're on their sideline. About 3 metres out from the end zone. The count gets high, so they look to cycle it back. They do have one in the back corner. Defensive breakdown from Outbreak means that I-beam put their first break of the game in.
Chilly Chris Hill hiding in the back of the end zone there, spotted by Prosser. Found him out, and that was a lovely goal to I-beam. They start with a break in this game. Talking to Outbreak Moz before the game, they did say they started very poorly in all of their games and then sort of clawed their way back into the game. And it's a similar story for I-beam yesterday in their 3 losses. So I think it's going to be really important to see who can come out strong first.
Yeah, there are a lot of positives to take from something like that because it's not like you get blown off the park for a game and, you know, there's nothing to take out of it. They're going to take a lot of heart. The message is obviously, how do you avoid going down in that hole? And if you've got 2 teams that, you know, go really well in the second half, it's going to be really interesting to see who stands up and takes the edge in that first half. And then the big question is, can they hold that advantage and momentum going into that second stanza?
Yeah, I will back I-beam's stamina. I know there's a lot of athletes there with very good stamina. Not sure about Outbreak's regime of training, but no doubt they're quite fit boys as well.
And I-beam bringing a squad that's probably small by normal team standards, but big by their team standards, about 18. I know you guys, you as an I-beam veteran, 14 is kind of your standard. 18, that must feel like a luxury.
Oh, it is. Yeah, these guys don't know how well they got it. It's Ferdy Ramadan off to Baddix. They are slicing through this 3-3-1 zone of I-beams, but cannot complete the long pass again. This is a worrying little sign early, Moz, from Outbreak, as they're not hitting their long receivers.
Yeah, Perkins, that one just well out of reach from him, couldn't bid for it. So a chance for, you know, we were talking about who's going to make a statement early in the first half. If you get a chance from I-beam to put 2 breaks from 2 points in, as we see, long shot go. It's Hugh Osborne underneath it. Got a 2-on-1, but the body, a nice peel off from 30 off the back. And Outbreak have a chance to recover and keep it at evens. 30, no mark on him. Cycles it round to Donaldson. Donaldson back to 30. 30, let's go a really angled blade, and this one's going to be a turn.
Righto, well, second long throw. Wait a minute, I think there might be a call here. I think 30 is saying that he got fouled in the process of throwing. It certainly came out as a very ugly blade.
Yep. But so, also not a lot on it, like it died really, really quick.
It died very early.
Hazy having a chat to him about it. Some action replay stuff going on.
And Moz, just for the conditions, it says that there's a zephyr, I would call it, around. Not much of a wind, but it is going from left to right as you see the field. And the discussion ensues between Tim Hayes and 30 Ramadan about that throw, whether it was in the follow-through or not. That's an interesting one. Yeah.
He's like totally bumping him.
Was he?
Everywhere else, not in the hand. He's like...
Okay. Yeah.
The ULTI.TV peanut gallery.
Yeah. That's right. So, Mike, yeah, we're totally biased in this commentary booth.
Abandon all thoughts of impartiality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So it does come back. Counts coming on 3, and we're back in. 30.
Engages Donaldson. Donaldson gets the nice swing around. This is a little bit better from Outbreak. Donaldson goes up the line. 2 dump options. It's a little messy, and it was Baddix with the turn, and now Lefty with the chance to put it in.
Now Lefty here, looking long. Nice. 30 Ramadan's going to eat that up. And the battle between 30 And Tim Hayes continues.
It's going to be a good one, Greenie.
It is. Hayes has the stamina, Ferdy has the power. So what a great matchup this is.
So Outbreak have gone back to a horror now. So they run one in under, and that's just a bad throw from Ferdy. No foul on that one. I've been with the opportunity. So Stoddard wearing a hat because he doesn't like me talking about his haircuts. He gets it off and cycles through. They move out. They're at their end zone line. So you'd call it red zone offense now. It's McKee. He engages the dump, goes up the line. The fill comes, and it's completed. Back to the midfield. This is Doherty. Doherty doesn't have a dump. Lefty does well to shake and bake, gets it on the break side, steps that big lefty backhand, goes the high release, and that's a goal every single day from the left-handed Union.
Wow. Ibeen go 2-0 up, and the bad starts continue for Outbreak. That was a very messy point. And I think they've called an early timeout. That'll give me a chance to catch up with my stats. Both teams guilty there of being greedy and wanting to end the point early.
Yeah, so I-Beam wanted to start firmly. That was the part of their game, as we said off the top. They'd identified yesterday that it was just their starts that put them in a hole. The positive thing was they came back, but the thing to correct was their start. And if you're Outbreak, it's more of the same, unfortunately. They've put themselves in a 2-0 hole. The offense just not quite clicking, even prior to Battix. Battix, just kind of dropped the dump. That happens. But even prior to that, the offense just didn't really look smooth or set. Whereas conversely for I-Beam, their defensive unit, as we see Lefty's nice little high release backhand, that's a goal every day. That's how the left-handers do it. So Outbreak with a pretty big squad. Just looking at their, as we see, the pups on the sideline. Outbreak are carrying a big squad, so you kind of mentioned it, Greenie, that it'll be interesting to see who has the legs, not just in this game, but also in the broader tournament. But this game is very much for survival. Both teams having a rough 0-3 day, but it doesn't mean that they're knocked out of contention.
Definitely not. And there is a slither of hope. If they get through, the winner of this game still is alive in the tournament. So there's a lot of bearing on this game. Last year, Moz, we saw this matchup go to Universe. 15-14 to Outbreak in a great comeback win for them. And that was the first time that they'd beaten I-Beam since 2016, the last time that they won, when Joel Pillar and Brett Middleton were gracing the fields in that tournament. Brett Middleton still here and on the O-line here and is the coach of this team. Sean Davis with his hand up. Long-time player for Outbreak.
And again, it looks like, as we see, a little bit of a fumble. Outbreak again running that horror. Middleton in the middle, not really marked. Middleton doesn't have anyone near him. Gets to the disc now. Another lefty. He goes to Sean Davis. Big shoot on the power position.
Wrong.
This one is a goal. And Outbreak get on the board with a nice power position. Greenie, we were talking about that offense not quite clicking. Looked so much better there. Obviously, there was a breakdown with someone marking defensively. Bretty's probably not the person you leave alone. But he was able to get that open under, shift the power position off. You can see there, I think it was just lefty left him, and get that power position. That's the right place to shoot from. A 2-on-1, so you're always thrown to advantage. Nice little bid from Davies.
Yeah, that white hood flailing in the breeze.
He's a player that likes to pad up, Davies. I find he's a thick boy, but he always likes to wear some kind of hoodie or something underneath it.
Well, he thinks it makes him look taller.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was more about the chest, like the barrel chest kind of.
Well, yeah. What you lack in height, you've got to make up in girth. Outbreak will feel a lot better about themselves getting on the board in this game. And it was only really a matter of time with the power they have on that O-line. Oscar Turnbull, who's one of the captains of this team, and also Sean Davis on that line. who was a under 18s Thunder player and also a 2018 Goanna. And I've just been throwing the disc since he was 11, Moz.
Yeah, must be nice. It'd be handy. We all wish we would started playing at that age. We see Davies move it across. And this looking pretty bruise-free from I-Beam so far. They're able to move it already to midfield. Half a bid there, but it's safe. This is Keeley. Keeley looks inside, gets up the line. And Outbreak now finally at past halfway are able to set, but they're still allowing that up the line to go. That's Richo, Ben Richardson. Hits Davies up the line, and that's a really easy goal. And Greeny, I was going to say before, it's great that Outbreak got on the board because you definitely don't want to be in a 3-0 hole having burned the timeout to try and readjust. So they did well. But now if you're the defensive unit, it's almost as much about keeping your O off the field for some time. That was probably a 10-pass offense. It
went very quickly, didn't it, Moz? It went very quickly. What was concerning for me for Outbreak there was I-Beam were just able to chuff it just up the line on the open side the whole way.
It was probably three up the line dump cuts in a row.
Yeah.
So it's great that they've sorted out, or at least for the time being, have sorted out the offensive issues. Now it's probably a very simple defensive issue of don't let them up the line because it just releases all that pressure. So the pressure moves back towards the Outbreak O-line.
Yeah. And look, we've got Oscar Turnbull on the line. He's the leader of this line, although Sean is out there as well. He's actually calling the shots on this line. Oscar Turnbull, he's a current Goanna. Looking forward to seeing what he can do in Spain this year. The son of Nick Footer, the coach of Zig Theory, and also Craig Turnbull. Long-time Frisbee players themselves.
From some pedigree, you're saying.
Great pedigree. And a fine athlete. He can really do everything. Throw, catch, jump high. Great receiver. So, he's one to watch here. Outbreak coming out in a horror here, Moz.
Yeah, and I think it's at least a bit of bracket work, if not some kind of zone from I-Beam. I don't think a lot of players looking at their direct opponents. I reckon we're going to see either a junk or a transition. What do they play?
Nah, this will be a 3-3-1 transition.
Big hammer to go early. Springs the trap. No one on that wing, so it was pretty safe. And now it's Outbreak's turn. Turnbull has the wide around flick. It's a beautiful throw. He's going to get up high, and that is a goal.
That was pretty sweet from Outbreak. And if you're I-Beam, you'd be very disappointed that they got a hammer off the first throw.
Yep.
On your first throw, you want to make sure that you've got that covered.
And again, in these conditions as well, there's no, as you mentioned for people at home, there's an ever so slight wind, but it's not, it's a nice little thrower's breeze that almost assisted that throw, if anything.
Yeah. And watch the throw here from Turnbull.
This is lovely.
Beautiful outside in flick. I did say he can do everything. And that's Dan Roberts on the end of that one, who is also a Goanna this year.
It's got an interesting, rocking an interesting lid, old Roberts. The kind of skin fade on the side and the mullet, the mullet.
It's a short side, long back. And hey, all the goeies have got that.
Is that the thing?
Is
Is that all right? So does Mike Neal have that as the coach? Is he doing that? I can't really picture him doing that.
I can't picture that either. But can you imagine Mike Neal with a mullet? That's a mind thought for the day.
Jump in the chat if you want to see Mike Neal with a mullet. Subscribe, jump on the Patreon. We'll start a GoFundMe for it. And this pool is coming back in. This is nice. The pool's overall pretty good. A couple of bricks, but it was going out the back, that one. So now we'll see Lavis. He moves it to Davies, back to Lavis, and now we're going to see Outbreaks shot at a zone. So Lavis to Davies. Davies sees one off the front, likes it. This is Doherty. Richardson comes under, is covered, so Doherty will bounce it back, and now it's moved to Davies. A little bit better here, Jono, from Outbreak, actually getting a count on and making a little bit of pressure up the line as we see a big under come in from Doherty. Back to Lavis.
This is very different from the last point, isn't it, Moz?
Yeah. Davies now, he's going to look long. 30 allowing that flick off. Doherty motions towards the team to come back to him. The swing goes wide and it's Richardson getting an active mark now. The dump goes up the line and he's covered, so that's better if you're Outbreak. It's Lavis. He wants that inside flick. Getting straddled by Donaldson. The dump comes out. Lavis a little wide, but it's going to work, and that's to Merck. Merck gets it back up to Lavis. He's wearing a little bit of body from Donaldson. He won't like that. Lavis doesn't like that. He goes with the flick. It's an around. It's a goal. It's unmarked. And it's Liam Doherty putting in the hard yards off a lovely floating throw from Tim Lavis.
I must say, Moz, that was better from both teams.
Agreed.
You know, Outbreak brought the defensive pressure. There's no doubt. I-beam, they hung on. They are able to complete that, but they looked a little bit sweaty palms in a few of those moments. So I think I-beam would be really happy they got through a pressure D point.
I agree. I think that's good progress from them. There were higher counts. They even, back in their own half. Previously, they hadn't even been able to defend in their own half. So now that they got that pressure up a little bit, sure, no turn, but you've got to build pressure over not just an individual point, but over a number of points. So that's positive progress from them.
Definitely. And Outbreak, of course, happy that they can actually exert some defensive pressure. And look at the sideline here, very active. You've got guys flooding onto the field there to hear the call. That's positive signs for Outbreak. No such thing for I-beam, but they never have because they've never had the numbers to get on the field to support their troops.
Yeah, no, definitely a home field advantage. We can see on the chat some of the support for Outbreak starting to come through and people bringing their camping chairs down, Greenie.
Yeah,
a lot of vocal support for Outbreak as they're going to field this pool, and it's well taken. Yeah, the dump goes up the line. Lefty's staying in the lane to poach. It is a bit more of a junk. So Lefty on the mark. So Outbreak need to adjust here, and they have. Hitting some unders. That one goes through just. This is Roberts. He moves it back. It's the Turnbull who's going to shoot. This one has a 3-on-1. That is a beautiful throw. They literally raffle it off.
There were 3 Outbreak players circling in the end zone, ready for that catch. What a peach of a throw.
I was going to say it's early days,
Turnbull.
but that's throw of the day so far. That's the clubhouse leader for throw of the day.
Yeah, the wind is slightly picking up, so that was into the breeze, but he just used that breeze to perfection. Sean Davis there shaking off the defender there. Let's have a look. Yes.
All 3 players deep of theirs. So you mentioned that. Was that a transition? Were they? Because it did look like they were playing a zone, but it almost looked match behind.
So, look, this happened in our stream game against Wildcats that I-beam were not respecting the deep cut enough, and they were left trailing their players as they were getting long goals. So, yeah, Brett Middleton there.
Yeah, he's flying the plane. I mean,
that man has a giant wingspan.
Yeah.
So, he can use those as wings. All right. 4-3. Newcastle up at the break.
And this is another nice pull. Donaldson the inside out. It's going to be Lavis underneath it. Lavis is going to centre it to Davies. I-beam now running the Horo, run a set play where they bring the wing across. The winger goes, and there's a nice big backhand put. And this one's going to sit out. Jono, it's a clinic at the moment. It's just so lovely. Winchester.
What a throw from Merck. He didn't hesitate because he looked at the cut of the jib of his man downfield, and it was Jake Winchester. And he knows that Jake Winchester can burn pretty much most players here in Division 1. He is exceptionally fast. And when he saw there was separation, he did not hesitate to throw that.
Yeah, and so Greenie, to the outsider's eye, that very much looked like a set play. We'll see it in a moment. But it very much looked like that Horo was set. The wing came out from the top side into the middle. It wasn't quite power position, but definitely had his marker trailing, which gave that shot. Is that something that they really kind of work on?
It is,
in training?
Yeah. Yep. And Davies is the coach of IBEAM this year. Well, he's been the coach and captain for a long time, but he's just specifically the coach this year. There's the throw. What I love about that is just getting it in front. Just get it out in front and let your man run onto it.
Yep.
Don't make it a contest.
And the other thing that was great, speaking of contest, is it was great discipline from the other two wings of IBEAM, because that was a one-out shot. It was just one-on-one. Huge advantage, obviously, because the cut was that strong. But both those other wings had kind of come under to leave that space. No poachers, no one sitting off the back from Outbreak.
Yeah. Well, last year, IBEAM was running a lot of vertical, and it just didn't work. It put receivers on the sidelines. This year, it's a lot more horror.
And another big, nice pull. It's Shawnee. Davis sits on it a little while, moves it back, and now there's a little bit more flow through. As we see...
Lockie L's off. No, he comes back under.
Clark. Now to Turnbull. Turnbull looks to Davis. He fakes the overhead instead, cycles it back. And there's the overhead now, and they've found the space out the back. They're going to run it through the middle. They've got the numbers, and IBEAM managed to recover. So they move it out. Srinivasan, Turnbull. So they've got numbers behind, so they don't need to panic. They do have the release in the form of Earl. Gets to Sean Davis. And it now looks like they've locked down a little bit. So Outbreak continuing to run at least one, if not two, behind the disc. Got their hands out. So the message is patience, but the message is also popping, because right now they've got three wing deeps and not a lot going. And this one goes up. It's a double arcing.
Oh! Mike McKee with a block. He just timed it, didn't he, Moz? He just timed it to perfection. Well, I'm sure he would like to have been earlier, but he got there.
Yeah, a little bit of double helix about that one. So got underneath it.
And that's the first missed throw we've seen from Oscar. He just hung that one up a little bit.
Davies sees something. He goes. It's Lefty sitting underneath it. Lefty's got the pace. Lefty's got the sit. Lefty's got the goal.
Wow. An emphatic reply.
One throw offense.
Yeah, and it's the old combo.
Yep.
Davies to Lefty. And I saw the despair there with the body language of Sean Davis.
Yeah.
He was tracking it with Lefty, realising he didn't really have a bid on this. He couldn't get over him. He couldn't get around him. And unfortunately, he had to sit there and watch Stoddard get the goal.
So, Greeny, talk us through the D first.
Well, the D was excellent from McKee. He's been working on his sprinting, legs of iron, and then immediately this old combination that's been going for years and years and years. Sean Davis unable to get a piece of that.
I think if I was Sean, I'd be frustrated about the contest. That's fine. But you've got to recognise that coming in from that stop disc, you've got probably your best thrower on IBEAM. Looking at their primary receiver, you've got to know that that's coming.
Yeah, I know. And, well, I would say the same back to IBEAM. I'm really interested for this D point. Can IBEAM, their last play, can they back them?
Yeah.
Please don't allow your man to just run long and you have to chase and watch them catch the goals. But I agree. Sean Davis should have just backed Lefty there. Why would you do anything else?
If you get a 15-metre gainer under,
great.
You live with that. Yeah.
That's what you want. All right, well, 6-3. This is another break put on by IBEAM. Chile with a pull. C-disc, hut disc. That's another big one into the breeze.
And we'll see Outbreak bring it in. It's going to be 30. The Outbreak stack really deep, so they're going to have to haul to get under it. It's Baddix with it. Gets back to 30. They've collapsed into this time. They're running a bit more of a vert downfield. Donaldson not able to get it on the break side. So now it's going to be with Baddix. Baddix looks one off the front of the stack, and it's back to Donaldson. Donaldson has one going, and this one's going to go. He's going to have to get on his bike. It's going to be too much.
Yeah, unfortunately there for Matthew Gordon. He had the steps on Prosser.
He had this. Yeah, he had his head down. I think the cut was pretty good. Certainly the first few steps, but that one.
I think they would have rather 30 or Baddix taking the shot there. and giving a little bit of air because it is slightly downwind.
Yep.
And he didn't get that sit
Correct, yeah.
of the disc.
So this is a chance now, a real big moment in the context of this game. 6-4 is one thing, 7-3 is quite another, as we see Chile. He gets it round. This is to Winchester. Already caught a goal today, moves it through. There's a bit of power position. I thought it was going, Greeny, so did you. Winchester on the dump. Baddix into him with that big barrel chest. Oh, he's a big unit. Looking at Chile. Chile to Osborne. Osborne in the green because he forgot his white. Moving it up. This is nice. This is McKee. Been good deep. Fakes the backhand. Now goes around. That one slightly over it. No one can rescue it. An Outbreak. Get a break. 30's got one out. He needs to hold on.
And Perkins had separation there deep. 30 didn't see it.
And now it's Baddix. Needs to chill. Doesn't. Throws the huck instead. This one might work. Donaldson's going to get 2 bites. 3 bites at it.
Jeez.
Not once. Not twice. But 3 times. Sold.
He collapses in a heap at the back of the end zone after carrying the disc there like a drinks waiter through the back of the end zone, giving the fans on the sideline a heart attack.
Yeah.
But we finally got the right combination. So Baddix here.
Great cut, bottom of screen.
Yeah. And it was an inside-out flick. I thought he'd overcooked this one as well. But great wheels on Matthew Gordon there. So Matthew Gordon, 45. No,
Jack
it
Donaldson.
is Jack Donaldson. Jack Donaldson. Remember that name. Actually, I remember Oscar telling me about him. He's really new. But good speed, great height, and clearly able to close out goals.
Yeah, eventually, good hands.
Yeah.
So the crowd continuing to build here, loving that outbreak. I said it during the point, Greeny, but 7-3 versus 6-4. Obviously, mathematically, it's a big thing, but mentally, it's a big thing. You know, now we're still in this half. You get to 7-3, you're like, okay, cool. So you almost start thinking about they're going to get to 8. So now it's second half kind of mindset. Whereas now 6-4 game on. Yeah,
it is. That's right. You're not thinking half time and let's regroup. You've actually got to score this, try and get the block, come out and score again for half. Turnbull now with the pull. Brady's on this line. Roberts, Davis. This is a pretty strong line they've got out here.
Yeah,
Lockie Earl.
I'd love to see him come down in a match here. Put pressure on straight away. This one might be a brick.
Yeah.
And that's just... come on, Tim.
Classic Lavis.
Come on, Tim.
Come on, mate.
Make your mind up.
Yeah.
Lulled them into a sense of, is he going to get it or not? Bit of Matrix stuff you're saying.
Yeah.
So it'll be Ryan Davies with the disc. He's going to be marked by Oscar Turnbull, I believe. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good matchup.
Yep.
Great matchup.
Davies with it. Lefty backhand. Over to Lavis. Lavis stops, props, wants the huck, doesn't. Instead goes back to Ryan. Ryan, he had Doherty. He's played well, Liam.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah.
Oh, nice save. Keeps it up. That's Richo.
Yep.
With the save. Davies looks at the inside under, gets it, it works. It's Humphreys, they move it through now. They've got the flow. They've got one wide on the break side. Davies says, no, I don't like it. Instead, cycles it back to Lavis. Davies wants that inside flick, and we see one go down, and eventually...
Oh, I love that, Moz, because so Sean Davis and Tim Lavis matching up. And they've been practicing their J-cuts, I-beam. And that requires you to sort of go break side and then come back. And
we can see him just in that play there, yeah.
And in doing so, Lavis smashes into Davis. So
an accepted foul, I believe. So it's stuck a little bit deep. It's adjusting now. A little bit of shake and bake. That's good. That's to Merck. Merck doesn't have a dump. Davies comes back now, wants the break backhand, travels as he does it, gets back on his pivot. Instead, it's the inside under, and it's Sean Davis with a D off the front of the stack, and he's going to run and gun. He picks it up. And now there's a count on.
Christopher Hager was open long there. They didn't see him.
This will be a pick call.
I tell you what, Davies will be super unimpressed with himself there. He got it on the sideline. He had Merck back for a quick inboard throw that would have saved his bacon. Instead, he gets stuck and wants to push the upfield throw, causes a turnover.
Yeah, watch Davies this point. I reckon he'll get one back. So Sean Davis has it. Moves it up the field.
Whoa.
Oh.
Alex Little has got some toe.
Lavis has gone down.
Oh, I missed that. I was just watching this blur of Alex Little.
So
now, what do we got here? So
I
this
think there
is
was some contact, but
is Sean and so did they tangle? Did they?
I don't know, but Timmy was pretty annoyed. I don't know. I'm not saying he was annoyed with Sean, but
let's have a look. I can see him in frame there. Oh, I didn't like the look of that. That looked like an ankle.
There was no contact, was there? I don't think there was any contact.
Is that an ankle, Tim? Yeah.
Just found a pothole, I think.
Yeah. So we just heard from Tim there that that was an ankle tweak.
Turnbull shoots. This one's going deep. It's Brett. Sweet as Middleton. Gets up high, gets the goal.
Oh, my Lord. And here they come. The entire Outbreak team floods the fields.
And what's this? A bit of angels in the outfield kind of stuff. Is that what this is?
We might have to get to the bottom of that. What the significance of the flapping arms is, but it's all about Brett Middleton, that one, wasn't it? Absolutely set up for him. A beautiful throw. And the only person getting that was going to be Brett Middleton. Jack Humphreys, the unfortunate defender that was in the poster.
He's still got it.
He's still got it. Of course he has. Well, this is very good offense. It was Turnbull with the throw.
Mike.
Oh, just going up. Jack Humphreys, he just made a little move. His first movement was to the side and not deep. He didn't just track his man immediately. But I don't think it would have mattered in the end because Brett's wingspan, his reach, his jump, only he was going to bring that down. So, as we said, 6-4 now becomes 6-5, and we've got a game.
We've got a game.
Right, gut check for I-beam. This is their O-line. You got Davies to back up here. Merck backing up. Richo backing up.
They're running lefty out as an ISO, it looks like. Is this the play, Jono?
Yeah, that's the play. Old Faithful. And that's a sacrifice cut from Winchester. But look at the wide zone here. It's a very loose zone. I've been waking up to it. And Richo centres back to Davies.
They've got
Merck. Now. Oh, they've gone the match. Back to Merck, very tight. Merck sees an open lefty, has the throw, but gets hit on the throw, and Merck is not impressed. This is a man that's hard to make angry. He is such a gentleman, but I don't think he was impressed with that.
Yeah, but I don't think if you're the Outbreak, uncontested. Accepted.
Yeah, accepted foul.
Yeah, I don't think you could really argue with it. One of those ones where you're coming through, it's clearly affected the throw. So lefty should have a lot of space deep. Stoddart, you see him right at the far end of screen. He went, but composure and conservatism is the message of the day from I-beam. They're going to work the unders. It's Doherty back to Davies. Ryan goes back. Gets to Richo, throw and go. This one comes out wide. That's a really nice throw into the break space. This is Winchester. Reliable release, back to Ryan Davies. There's a lot of...
Okay, so Moz, we just saw Keeley go down now with another ankle, but this time he was stomped on by 30. 30 apologises.
Well, that's not going to help you, is it? No.
No.
Are you playing, Tim? You all right?
There we see Keeley shot by the sniper.
And speaking of ankles, Lavis gives us the thumbs up. He's going to be back in the game. So Ryan Davies gets the nice inside under. Stoddart looks deep, instead goes the flick. Half a sniff, but Winchester recovers it. Davies goes right back into that dead space. That's not good. Instead to Doherty, but this one's going to sit up a little bit. And all players working, and Doherty now goes down. So this is a war of attrition this point. No contact.
This is a damaging couple of points here for I-beam.
Yeah, and all players actually doing really well to avoid contact there. That's what you call a hospital pass.
Oh, it is.
That one going up the line. 2 or 3 sets of players could have got that.
Yeah, I feel like Liam Doherty could have gone early.
Yeah.
Right, and then he thought, no, I'll get it on the...
He gave the space back. Yeah, exactly.
And was swallowed up by John O'Brill. John O'Brill, one of the leaders of this team. And Sean Davis comes on now.
That's a great move if I was Outbreak. You'd want that, just throw in composure, and we're going to see a pick straight off the front.
Look at how this game's evolving. You have that injury, you bring on one of your gun players in a crucial point at 6'5". They've got 64 metres to go here, Moz, to bring it back to evens.
Yep. And I think the matchup here to watch is off the back of the stack. This is Donaldson and Lefty. If I'm Donaldson, bring him under. Lefty's going to love shutting everything deep, which is going to put this much more pressure on the unders like that, which there's a fantastic D from.
Now, that was the John O'Brill Prosser matchup. I thought it looked clean, but I'm seeing through eyes of emerald and cinnamon.
You're a brave man saying that in this box, mate. I think this is an Outbreak box. So this was firstly a bit of the injury. It was Doherty looking to avoid contact more than anything, just losing his feet.
You see there, he could have gone up early, but he chose to ride it.
I think this is going to be an accepted. Something I find, Greeny, the women's division does a lot of things better than men. Hand signals in particular. When you're doing women's games, great with the hand signals. Men, useless at it.
Useless.
I've got no idea what's going on. There we go, finally, to prove me wrong.
You did get a hand signal? That's a miracle.
I got half of one.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's going to be an accepted foul.
Wow, okay. Brill now. A leader on this line. And there it is. Donaldson gets the under.
Yep. Get Lefty out of that deep space. Donaldson has the wide one. The pick is called. Ryan Davies stopped when he heard it, so this disc will go back. So Ferdy's the deep cut. He's sitting last back. You probably want him back towards the disc. Davis has space out behind him, so if Donaldson's going to dump, it's going to be out wide. Instead, Davis goes back into the dead space. He's marked really well by Davies, who has a bid, and now Davies is down. How many did you bring to Nats? How many?
Not enough. Not enough.
And we hope he's okay. It just looked like an injury off the bid, so hopefully nothing too serious, but definitely walking wounded.
And now we know why Davies layers up. It's for those kind of bids. I think he might have copped a bit of Sean Davis's cleat.
Yeah, that's not going to help.
And this is a great match, or was a great matchup.
So Greeny's rummaging around his backpack for his I-beam jersey. It's not too late, Greeny.
That's right.
Davis looks. It's Donaldson. There's one off the front, and it's Brill, unmarked. So this is better from Outbreak. They just need to be patient. 30, the throw and go with Brill. That works really well. Now he's got power position. 30, he shoots. It's a wide, outside in flick, and it's a goal. It's a drop.
Oh, Jono Perkins.
Had it until he didn't.
Look, it was a great effort. 30 did not need to put that much on it. It was arcing. Jono P gets a touch. He almost got the mitts around it. It was a great effort.
It was those Bunnings gloves that all the kids wear these days.
Yeah. Go with your feel. Let go.
Man?
Use the force. You don't need that. Anyway.
Huge. So that was for sixes. Not to be. So now I-beam get a second crack at it. It's Stoddart. He looks with the backhand instead. Fakes flick. Nice big bid. Huge D. That's the D of the game so far. And the crowd let him know about it.
That was brilliant from Matthew Gordon.
Davis, they must just show composure here. He does. That's a lovely throw into space. It's 30. There's a pick called. It'll come back.
Oh, they are on the doorstep here, Moz. They're in the red zone. They're one pass away from locking this up at 6-all.
100%. And we spoke earlier about like this. It's the same point that Davis was brought on.
Subbed in.
You need that composure. Him and 30. He goes down. He goes up the line. It's there. Lefty peeled off the front. That left Donaldson free. Donaldson throws the break. Donaldson throws a goal. And Greeny, it's all tied up at 6-all.
What a game we've got here, Moz. We didn't see this coming at 6-3.
6-3 with I-beam having the disc.
Exactly. Exactly. They missed their chance there. Then break, and we're at 6-all. Jono Perkins gets the goal there after missing fingertips on an incredible bid. And Outbreak up and about.
Now, and the goal came because of this fantastic D.
Yeah, that was Matthew Gordon.
And I liked the composure from Donaldson. He saw Stoddard peel off the front of the stack and went, cool, my thing to go. Just get the disc in an easy spot because I'm going to have the break shot.
And what composure for a really young dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if someone got in his ear and said, hey, if you got lefty on you, just take the unders. You know?
I said that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
maybe he heard you.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
In any case, he's looking like a player of the future, to be sure. And I think there's a few players, because we saw these guys at Canberra Cup. They came over. They had a few close games. They didn't do that well. But you know what? The younger guys, you could see, were bloody quick and had some go about them and had some mongrel. And you got the feeling that it's only going to take another couple of seasons before they are going to be stalwarts of this Outbreak Mountain team.
Yeah, they've definitely got the momentum at the moment. They've got a bit of this, we speak about the crowd. There's probably about 60, 70 people here now starting to form on the camping chairs from Adelaide.
Yep. Well, I think one of them is another team for the next game, though, Moz. Nevertheless.
Until they go, they're the sideline. So Lavis, he's back on. Good to see him back. Geez, we've got to work it out with Lavis, Davis, Davies. They're all here. This time it's to Richardson. This more positive from I-beam, but another great.
Okay.
Thought it was a D. They're going to have a chat.
It was a great poach-off D by Oscar Turnbull.
I think it's going to be a dangerous play call.
Yeah, it was a poach-off. It was a great look from Turnbull, but he could not stop the contact there, and I think that's what Liam will say. I tell you what, taking my it was Doherty's going through it here. This will be interesting to see what they come up, Moz. Yeah.
Well, Tim Lavis is going over to share his opinion, so that'll be good. That'll help.
Here we go. So we'll have a look again. Great look from Turnbull. He does end up causing contact for Doherty, but how significant was that contact?
Well, that's why I'm not sure. And again, this is because the dudes are just useless with hand signals. I don't think there was contact. I'm not sure. Like, that's why I'm wondering, is the call dangerous play?
Yeah.
Because he's pulled out so as not to make contact. But again, without hand signals.
Yeah. Okay. So Doherty went for some other perspectives. And what is the result of this?
Looks like it'll be accepted.
No, it's an accepted foul.
Yep.
Is what it is. Okay.
But if you Outbreak, don't worry about the call or the outcome. Ride the energy. That was another great bid. Yep, you don't have the disc yet, but you've got another D look, and it's Lavis. Bring it back in. Doherty fakes back. They're so much more tentative now. This is a little bit stronger. Lavis wants that inside shot. You can see his head always looking at his break side. Goes open now, and another big bid.
Oh, had Humphreys in the corner, didn't want it.
Lavis bringing a bit of composure. Doherty looks at Davies. Ryan, he wants the inside. Throws the inside.
Oh, not in. There it is, Moz.
And despite a number, probably best part of half a dozen, Greeny, half a dozen sniffs or bids, I-beam stopped the right.
Well, Outbreak Mountain are on fire with their defense right now. There are layout bids everywhere. There is pressure on every throw. They're locking down the resets.
I think we do. We do have a timeout, so we're going to take a short break. I reckon, Greenie, you might be jumping in the I-beam huddle. I'm going to go over to Outbreak, and we'll see what the messages are.
In the name of giving more, we're offering access to more games via our YouTube membership plan.
More action.
More of the best teams, more of the action, more ways to watch.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
And the message was, just recognise the importance of this point right now. That was the message from the IB huddle.
Yeah, and from Outbreak, pretty animated from Brady. Brady drove it. They know that they're right back in this game. There was not as much structure as there was energy in that speech.
Yeah, sure. A little bit more measured. Wait, what's happened here? What has happened?
What happened?
They were saying violations of people still walking on the field when they pulled in.
Okay, so we're going to get a repull.
Yeah.
A little bit shambolic again. 0 hand gestures. Thanks, lads. Appreciate it. But we're going to get another pull. Do you know who loves that? Chili. Because Chili gets to pull again. Chili just loves throwing. He probably just deliberately threw it as a bit of a warm-up, little bit of a practice pull.
He is the veritable dog in the park, wanting to just throw, see disc, throw disc.
Chris Hill. Sorry, I should stop calling him Chili. Chris Hill.
Here he is. Round 2. It's not as good as the first one, I might say.
It's not, but it's going to work. It'll be Sean Davis. He's got Middleton out with both hands outstretched. They go to him now. He moves it back. This is Turnbull, moves it through. So the lateral flow quite good, and now they're going to get some upfield, downfield stuff. It looks like I-beam, Johnny, have collapsed into a match now.
Yeah, they have. There was only a 2-pass transition.
And keeps it alive, a big one. Goes up the line to Davis. Davis has Middleton out. He throws the big hammer over the break side, and Brady has the goal.
Oh, just as you would have scripted it for Outbreak. You had that sniff that Brett at some stage was going to be the end zone catching plastic, and there he was. They had to work for it. There was some pretty good pressure there from I-beam, but in the end there was a bit of brilliance there from Roberts with that layout grab to save the possession.
Yeah, Davis had all but given up on it. It had gone past him, you see there, and then this one, both players bidding.
Yeah, that was Roberts there, the goanna. But this was a lovely pop throw up the line.
And you can see how hard Brady was charging to the open side to open the space to throw into on the break. So
yeah, there was
really
not
like
a lot McKee could do in that because he had to cover the line.
Mike, I'm going to see if I can get Brady. Brady!
All right, well, 7-all. We have Galaxy Point here, ladies and gentlemen.
There it is. The mic good? And we're going to be joined by the man who caught that goal, Brett Middleton. Bretty, we'll just make sure we got your mic up. We'll give us 1 second, mate. We do. Catching goals, mate. Turning back the clock.
Trying to
run smarter and run less, just so I can save that energy. Let the young boys do all the running. I'll just try to find the end zone when I can.
And 2 questions for you. The first, you were for a placid dude, you were pretty animated in that huddle in the timeout. What was the message?
Look, we're just trying to encourage the guys. We've got a lot of young guys, first time here, and just trying to encourage them to trust, what we've done, trust the process. Don't stop trying to play the way we're trying to play because it's not working. Things are maybe not going to plan, and just keep rolling through the motions and trust that we've done the work and that we'll pull it together.
And very quickly, final question, as we see Lavis holds it. We can see these angels in the outfield kind of flying emoji. What's going on there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of our lines is called Twitter.
As we see a long shot to Davies for the half, and he takes it. Brady, thanks for joining us. I think you guys right in it. You're going to need some more angels in the outfield in that second half. Best of luck.
Thanks, guys.
On you, Brady. Oh, that was a dime from Liam Doherty. He had his hand up before Davies caught it. But a very nice statement for I-Beam to close the half out here. Davies going with not a lot of separation.
Yeah, but the thing I loved about Ryan's cut there is if you watch his head, you can actually see in his peripheral vision, he was waiting for that throw to go. He almost took half a step back. Like he didn't accelerate out of his cut. He waited until he thought, right, that's when Liam's going to have the power position. And so the timing of the cut, you're right, the separation wasn't there, but the timing of it, I think, was perfect because as soon as Doherty turned around, he knew that Ryan was head down charging.
Yeah, it was purely on the timing of the cut that he was able to... Yeah, well done. So
First half,
letting us know that he has not pulled anything out so far. It's something Outbreak can't claim. No, I-Beam saved, perhaps even clawed back the momentum, or at least got it on par to go into half-time. But they cannot rest on their laurels. Both of these teams have performed so far better in the second half than they have in the first. So I would actually love it, Moz, if we see a ramp up in the intensity and then this game. I'd love to see it. Let's see it.
Yep. Well, time will tell. We'll be back shortly. We'll leave you with some highlights from this first half. We'll join you in a few short minutes for all the second half action.
Oh.
Shit.
Illustrator need like up. Yeah.
Outbreak 2.2.
What was that? What was that?
Oh. Yeah, we have got a lot of.
Holy.
Oh no, yeah. It's great, Eddie. Are we back, Mike? And welcome back for what's going to be an enthralling second half. If you're just joining us, you've missed a great first half. Jump on the Patreon or become a member of the ULTI.TV YouTube channel, and you'll be able to enjoy all the first half highlights where we saw Newcastle I-Beam, led by Luke Prosser and Chris Stoddard, Ryan Davey. Got some old names there.
Yeah, and Spirit captains Jake Winchester and Richo. I must say, Richo is the vibes captain, and whereas Jake is definitely the guy who has to do all the admin. But you know, he's an engineer. He loves that stuff. But Jake, he's had a really good first half, and in fact, a lot of the I-Beam boys have. It's been a quality match, and we've seen Outbreak, after a terrible start, come roaring back right up into 7-all, and then I-Beam getting a momentum equaliser, I think, at Galaxy Point.
And it'll be Donaldson with the pull. He gets to Lavis, who's recovered from tweaking that ankle. He said, I spoke to him, he said that's tonight's problem as Davies goes to Stoddard. Stoddard has one going, throws it. It's got a little bit of air underneath it. It's going to fade, but they've got the sit early. Nice, big, early shot. It was Buckland who went up, but there's going to be a foul call.
There's another interesting one here. So Merck definitely got a hit as we see the replay. Yeah. There was definitely a hit. Merck had a good read on it, actually. Was backing away and then sort of got hit. It was a clean touch.
Yeah,
right?
and this is where I think, and Ruben does a fantastic job, but it's almost like you've got two conflicting rules. On one hand, you've got, could you have got the D without making contact?
Yeah.
Because that's a foul.
Yeah.
The alternative argument will be, well, I did the work to get to the space. I didn't initiate the contact. And so it's kind of that you could be right in individually in both of those kind of sentences. So I understand that the players are going to have a difficult time and probably want to take some alternative perspectives.
Yeah, I totally. So again, as we see it, he was definitely moving towards Merck in the air as he jumped. He got it clean.
Well, they've worked it out. It was ultimately accepted, and on the second bite,
wow,
Rob Merck catches the goal.
Well, a slightly dirty hold there for I-Beam.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't clean. But that was an accepted foul there finally by Outbreak. And look, it was a worthy discussion.
Oh, big time.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and the fact it was accepted from Outbreak is A, good spirit, and B, means they probably saw their Merck's perspective on it.
Yeah, and the other thing I'd say, Moz, Buckland did exceptionally well because he got thrown that matchup by Ferdy, who palmed off Merck to Buckland. And so Buckland had to make a lot of ground up. He got there. He got a clean bit on the disc, but unfortunately then took out Merck in his follow-through. So all fair and reasonable.
And we showed the IBEAM team list that had Harsha listed. We had a question from the chat to say, is Harsha playing? Unfortunately, we had a couple of visa issues, so Harsha not able to make the trip, but at least is on the team list. Hopefully has a jersey. Ryan, does Harsha have a jersey? Not yet, okay. Oh, that's all. He'll be here soon?
Right. And Moz, this is something I'm actually excited about. We are opening up a channel to Indian players.
It's fantastic, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And trying to get that Asian connection going. We've seen it with Sunda with Taiwan.
Yep.
We've seen it with Tokyo Mavericks with Chile.
Yep.
We're seeing it with other parts of Japan with Chaos.
Yeah, and Juggernaut having Harsha for a couple of years. Harsha's a legend. Great players. We see Sean Davis. Moves it around. IBEAM straight into a match, which I reckon is the right call. Turnbull cycles it up. Pretty inexperienced line for Outbreak here, Greenie.
Yeah, but a lot of fast runners. As we see a big put going up. Roberts underneath. He cannot have a bit at that. Oh, Oscar looked down on the ground. He knew that he had the throw. He had the separation. He had the receiver. He just couldn't put enough on that.
And I'm not going to let him off because it was a kind of cold turn. But you and I both spoke on the way in. Like, if we were at the races, it's almost like a heavy track. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit wet underfoot. It's not. You don't feel like you're running on top of the ground. There's a little bit of give in it. There's been dew overnight. So I do think you need to, particularly as this game gets into the second half, probably take just 5-10% off those throws.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And it's even a little bit uphill for him on that run.
Yeah. So a good chance for IBEAM. They get a big under gainer to Timmy Hayes, who throws and goes. He'll run all day. Goes to Stoddard, speaking of run all day, running marathons just for fun. He looked at inside. There was half a sniff from Turnbull. Now he has to recover because they're out. And it caused a little bit of chaos ball on the offense, and they get the turn, not the way they would have thought.
Oscar Turnbull, fantastic effort. He's always looking for that poach D. He didn't get it, but put enough pressure on to make McKee second-guess his catch.
And so we'll see if Outbreak can have a dirty hold themselves. Turnbull with it. He fakes the flick. Goes out half a bid from IBEAM, but instead this one, another bid. And again, half a metre too much.
Yes.
That's the adjustment they need to make. But can I just jump back on Turnbull for a sec? The thing I loved is he poached off. He had a sniff, but he didn't kind of throw his head back, oh no, I've blown my coverage. He hauled ass back to get towards. He didn't get the D, but as you said, it was kind of a phantom pressure D.
It was. And for older players, they normally just palm that off. I've poached so someone else get him.
Correct. So IBEAM, second opportunity. Once again, running this set play. It's Stoddard under, but this one between the D and the drop from Chile.
Bit nonchalant from Chile. He needed to really shift his body to close that one. Wasn't a great throw from lefty, it must be said.
So now another opportunity from Outbreak, this young Outbreak team to hold. Sean Davis goes up the line, cops a little bit of body. And speaking of, Bretty's gone down. He's gone straight to that ankle.
Okay, now, Brett, with a history of ankle injuries, that looked ugly. He caught the goal. Merck was making a bid, perhaps a little bit late.
Was it Merck or was it? I thought it was Hugh.
But it's a goal.
Yeah, it is Hugh Osborne.
It was Hugh Osborne. Okay.
So, Bretty with the history of ankles, Hugh with the history of being a little bit dopey. Let's face it.
And yeah, if that was rugby league, that'd be a hip drop tackle, where you basically crush the guy's ankle under your butt.
And he's a big unit, Hugh.
He's a big unit.
He's a big unit. Nothing untoward about it. Obviously, Hugh, lovely guy. But just he's a little bit like that old school ruckman. Like he'll throw the body goes around and whoever's in the way, well, bad luck.
Suddenly the sharpened elbows and knees come out, you know.
So I think Bretty's okay. It looks like a stinger. He's not getting too much attention on the sideline, which either means he's okay or his teammates suck. So definitely one of the two. But the good news for Outbreak is that they did score that goal.
Yep. What a vital hole for Outbreak.
Yeah, exactly.
They had to really dig in.
The last thing they want to do is repeat the first half. Like, he just made so much effort in that second stanza of the first half to get right back into it. You don't want to reset and then have to scrap to get it to, 12s or 13s. So right in touch.
Now, I'm just looking over Brady being escorted along the sideline here, Moz. That's not a good sign.
But he's putting weight on it.
Now, Brett, as a sort of a leader, definitely a spiritual leader of this Outbreak team, he can be the guy to fire them up and carry them home in this game. Yeah. So how is his mood going to be now? Is he able to come in and still fire these boys up?
Yeah.
Because right now he's got his head down. He realises he may be cooked for this game or for even...
And on the flip side, if I'm Battix or Ferdy or any of those other leaders, that's their time to stand up, as we see Doherty. Been one of the best on in my book, Greenie, so far this game. He's been really, really good. Outside your normal names of Davies and Lavis.
Yeah.
So, Richo, the Saints Nuffy, has holds, throws this one a little bit outside, but Winchester reels it in. He wants the inside flick, instead goes outside to my man Doherty. Doherty delivering a pizza for a moment there. Goes the inside to Richo.
You were saying that pizza's getting cold. Who wants it?
30 on cue, having a bid. They switch. They run a switch. Doherty again. I don't know what that move is.
Who wants the pizza?
There's an up the line, and I reckon that is a goal.
Okay.
They are going to call it. Yes. Yep, they've called it a goal.
Okay, 30 calls it a goal. Richo still wants
you've
to
got
argue.
The goal, mate. Stop talking.
Stop shrugging your shoulders and walk off.
Take the stat, Cho.
Oh, my God. How was the pizza delivery man there, Liam Doherty? Oh, God, that was hilarious.
They're built different up there in New Zealand. Sometimes you bust something out every now and again. I don't know what that's about, but anyway.
Well, that was a relief for I-Beam. The classic. Here we go. We see, I've got a pizza here, delivery, going cold. And then up the line from Richo. Now he jumps. Ooh, it was close, wasn't it?
Yeah.
30 can't believe it.
Yeah, 30 wasn't as sure, but his teammates who looked like they had a pretty good view of it. It's a bit different, isn't it?
And let's have a look. Yeah, well, it's good enough.
Yep.
But, Richo wanted to... I've come here for an argument.
Yeah. You have the goal, man. Just walk.
Richo, just accept the goal and walk off.
Yeah. Tried to talk himself out of a goal.
What's the call from the booth? Foot up, down.
Close enough, Tim. All right. So, Chris Hill, that's his name, right?
Yeah, Christopher Hill.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel right calling
I know,
him.
right? It's just...
Yeah.
Oh, big pull with a war cry from chilly Chris Hill. Lockie Earl under it. Centers to Davis.
Davis has one off the back, and he throws to it. It's a 2-on-1, but the throw is exceptional. He's not going to break stride. Turnbull gets the aeroplane arms out, catches the goal, kicks the goal, and that is a stellar throw.
Oh, that was a dime. A dime from Sean Davis. Been throwing since the age of 11, been playing since the age of 13. I think there was a little bit of confusion in the backfield from the I-Beam players. Who's got who's taking Turnbull, and before you knew it, he was out the back. So it was Chris Kerr there who had him. There was a peel off by Rob Merck, but all too late. And unfortunately, coming back to Horn I-Beam is what I was saying to you, that they're letting these guys go long.
Deep. Yep.
And not respecting the deep.
Yeah, and it was almost like there was, because you can see it was a 2-on-1. Obviously the throw was great and the cut was committed to enough that it didn't really matter. But it was almost like a miscommunication. Like, have you taken that switch or am I still going? So two of those players playing probably 50% defence rather than one just going, you know what, that's my player, I'm accountable, I'm going to go.
And the other thing I'd say, Moz, you can see what a great all-round player Oscar Turnbull is.
Yeah.
Great on D.
Yep.
Can go and run and go and get goals. But he's a great thrower as well. And speaking from experience, I know he's also a great leader of people. So very understated. He's not a rev up sort of dude, but he commands a lot of respect.
I've enjoyed watching him as well. So Outbreak still in at 9-10 down. They still need to bridge this gap. Ryan Davies moves outside to Lavis. Lavis finds that hole. You can't let that hole out if you're Outbreak. They hold it. It's a 1-3-2-1 Greeny, so pretty aggressive move here from Outbreak, but I don't mind it.
Well, Richo now gets the inside. That's the pass they wanted to centre the disc.
They've collapsed now. It looks like it's gone to match. And it'd be Lavis with. Lavis to Doherty. Doherty, nice big gainer under. That's to Winchester. Winchester engages the dump. Instead, throws the upfield. A little bit of heat, but it's okay. It'll work. This is Merck. Merck has a big inside shot. A little bit of chat going on the mark by the looks of that, but Doherty has it now. He throws the scuba dooba to Winchester, and that is an easy goal. And there's a little bit of chat going on here. This is Merck and Donaldson.
Yeah.
A little bit of back and forth. Donaldson doesn't want anything to do with it. He's walking away. Merck's going back for more.
Merck
and I
is
thought there was a bit of chat on the mark.
Yeah, okay. Now, Merck has come up to one of the...
You can get a shot of that. Yep.
Merck has come up to just sort it out. Now, John O'Brill has come in for a bit of the action. So I don't know if we can pick anything up from...
You can see the chat there just on the left of the screen.
Yeah, there must have been a bit of contact that really didn't like.
Hey, Mikey.
Yeah, that's interesting.
A little bit of argy-bargy between Merck and Donaldson.
There wasn't a lot to see there. I think Merck didn't like the mark, perhaps. Anyway, it was a fantastic scuba from Doherty, who was having a game out. What a boon for I-Beam to have a player like Doherty who can make game-breaking throws outside of the old firm.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I-Beam, you value their longevity. The downside of that is Outbreak, Hoss, Sunder, whoever it is come out and they go, right, well, they got Davies, they got Lefty, they got Lavis, okay, and they'll put plans together for all of those. Having someone like a Doherty, where they go, there's a little bit of a, no disrespect, but lesser known, kind of not as big a profile as these Worlds players, he can get off the chain, which I think is really, really good, and he's putting together a really, really good game.
Chile with a war cry and the giant pull.
He's just doing it for fun now, Greeny. Davis, he looks outside. Nice, raking break to Turnbull. He looks at the big flick, but Lefty closed it off well. Instead, they have to recycle back to Davis. Shawnee wants that break, can't get it off. Turnbull, there's a little bit of give-go action, but they are way too deep, and that's why he's saying, come under. He throws a hammer in anger, and it's going to bounce off the chest of Earl. There was just a little bit of heat in that hammer. It was a frustrated throw.
It was, but it's also unnecessary dive. I think he could have run onto that and closed his arm around it a bit with a bit more conviction. This could be bad for Outbreak. This could be, they really need to dig in and get this back.
Let's start moving at the key. In the backhand, throws out. This will be, they're out here. Unmarked players everywhere. One of them's Tim Hayes on the far side. Gets it now. Steps around for the wide backhand. Doesn't throw. Instead, moves it back to Prosser. Prosser with a really loose mark. But the stack is very deep and there are no dumps. Gets it out to old Osborne. Ruckman Osborne. He goes with the inside flick. There's a little bit of heat on it. But Chris Hill's underneath it. And Chris Hill catches the goal just in bounds.
See this. Catch this.
Chile goal.
Chris Chile Hill. What a beautiful throw from Hugh Osborne. Inside out. He has got a cannon of a flick, but we often don't like him using it because it usually cannons out the back of the field.
That's exactly what I was like. We've just played a campaign, obviously, with him, and I'd seen more than a couple of those either go out the side or, as you say, go out the back.
And we won't mention the double game point against Canada with a chance to win. However, This is great for IB.
Not that you're bitter about it.
Yeah. And as we see Brett Middleton being carried to the huddle. Do you want to get in there, Moz? Yep. Because I'd love to see how much Brett is able to bring to this team now while injured. Can he still deliver the goods to the teams and lift them to another couple of breaks? They've got a hold here, and then they must come out and break. Meanwhile, I-beam, no. They're on a D train here. They need to keep the D train going. Looking at our team of Outbreak, they have lost 7 Div 1 players from last year, 6 of who have moved to Melbourne, 1 who's gone to Wollongong now playing with Sunder Dice. But I am an absolute fan of Oscar Turnbull, as you would know from my commentary, but also Jono Perkins, who's the spirit captain and one of the leaders, John O'Brill, and of course our man who's now been carried off here, Brett Middleton. The best receiver, I will say, best receiver ever to come out of Adelaide in South Australia. And Mike just got an elbow in the ribs there from Mike Palmer saying, "What about me?" Well, actually, I remember playing against Mike back in the day when he was an outrageous receiver catching goals, so I can confirm that. But I think Brett might just have a few more runs on the board than our man Mikey. So right, what'd you learn here, Moz?
So, in the words of that timeout, nothing drastic, just a little circuit breaker. But there was a lot of passion about going for the Ds, the clean Ds. If the D's there, go for it, take it. As you mentioned, Bretty, I've never really seen someone get carried to a circle before, so good ticker from him, but also pretty concerning. I think he's certainly done for today and potentially a bit longer. Said just his foot, he can't really put any weight on it. But he closed the circle, so as you were kind of alluding to, he's still going to be a lot of that spirit and that energy coming from them on the sideline. So it's going to be important for him to continue that. But as I said, if you're Ferdy, if you're Shawnee, if you're Baddix, you guys now need to stand up and be the voice to lead these young men.
Fantastic. Lockie Earl.
Pull goes up, and it will be Sean Davis who there's going to be a quick stoppage because Sebo's running it to the other field. Jeez.
Oh, that's
Can't
cheeky.
help himself, can he? Back on this game, Sean Davis. He's got it. There's one poach sitting in the lane,
no!
and Sean went to throw it
Oh.
and tried to correct it, but it bobbled out, and now it's going to be Prosser. And Prosser's going to burn one. Yeah, and it's on a 4 count, and Shawnee is gutted.
I'm going to get in on this one,
Yep.
but that is a golden timeout.
Okay, welcome back out of the timeout. Green, I'll go straight to you. What was the message? What's the plan?
Okay, so there's actually going to be a bit of a trick play here from I-Beam. They're going to look for Merck in a flood play. Oh, they don't go for it. It's all too late. Oh, Chile just saves that one. He's on the goal line. So close from making this almost out of reach from Outbreak. Out to Chile. He wants an inside out, but he just hits an open pass to Rob Merck. Well, it wasn't how they scripted it.
It wasn't how they drew it
got
up,
there.
But it's a goal in the book, Greenie. And the thing I love most about that point, because we commented earlier on Chile maybe not going as hard at one as he should have, corrected it there. There was a disc that was half of a sniff from Outbreak. Chile put his body behind it, maybe wore a bit of unintentional contact, but made sure of it and was rewarded with the assist.
Yeah, I think he would have been dirty at himself. Looks off Merck here.
Everyone looks at that inside.
Yes,
yeah,
they did, including the defender of Rob Merck.
Yep.
Rob Merck now with he's got a Band-Aid over his cheekbone.
Just wonder if that's related to some of the chat with Donaldson.
That's right. Yeah.
Or he's just a bit of a Nelly fan or something. Yeah.
But they can't Band-Aid over this scoreline now. Outbreak.
I see what you did there.
Have to score, and they have to
be enough to make an impact on the game. But there is a little bit of weather around Greenie. Just a little bit of rain starting to come through now. So
okay.
I don't think it'll change anything, but it's a bit darker, and there is
Okay.
We'll see.
All right. Well, 13-9. All on Outbreak here. They just have to score and score and score. And they need a little bit of patience, don't we? We've seen them just pull the trigger a bit too early. That helps. Looks like it's a brick. No. Ferdy having to take this from those.
Yeah, there was a brick.
Sideline.
Yep.
It's a brick.
Number 10 scared, really.
Moz, this point, I want to see Outbreak show a bit of composure.
Yeah, don't shoot.
Get yourself down to the red zone before you start looking at the end zone.
So I've been running a bit more. Baddix wasn't really slowing down. So
no!
There's a miscommunication between him and Ferdy. Didn't go to where Ferdy thought. Wasn't a lot of time to react, but probably had a bit too much heat on it as well, as Prosser has a chance to put a dagger in. This one goes out wide to Stoddard. Stoddard looks the hammer, fakes the hammer, throws the hammer. It's going to sit. And Baddix got to the space, but a call straight away from Hazy, and Baddix is filthy on it.
He throws the head back in despair. He hasn't been working on that body.
He's a big unit. There's a lot of body to throw around, so they're going to have a chat about it. I think Baddix actually had to sit because this had too much air under it. But conversely, you can see Hazy get his position nice and early.
Yeah, look, a jump ball like this, I don't think the offense has a lot of reason to be challenging this. And I've got a feeling that Moz, that Outbreak are now starting to be getting a little bit running out of patience with some of the calls from I-Beam and a bit of the contact.
And that's the thing, you look in all those calls in isolation, you go, yeah, fair enough, but when you've had 3 or 4 in a row, and they are quite similar, they're talking about their own space and who had the position and stuff like that, so it's almost, there's a bit of a theme.
Yeah.
I would say I can understand it if I'm Timmy though, but I'm probably looking more on Baddix. He's not initiating contact there. I'd argue actually Baddix had probably a bit of a better position right under the disc.
Yeah, I agree. I think Hazy needs to suck this up. It's a contested foul. It will go back, and I think that's fine from Baddix as well. Okay, so we're back with I-Beam. We're back with Chris Stoddard.
I mean, it's really Stoddard's fault when you think about it.
Yeah, it was. He flopped the hammer up there.
Yeah, so let's just blame him. All right, Stoddard with it. See if he can atone. He looks for Prosser. Prosser started the cut, then goes up, gets up high. That's a nice big grab coming in off the poach. Outbreak recover well. Prosser's got the inside shot if he wants. He goes outside instead. And that's a goal.
Wow. I-Beam seal this point. Another break that Outbreak could not afford, bringing it to 14-9, just 1 point away. I must say, Outbreak need to forget about any feelings of injustice.
Yeah.
They need to get their O-line back out there, and they need to punch a goal in. What we've seen in the last couple of points is just the handlers getting a little bit tentative, and not completing their resets.
And I don't want to keep harping on it, but it's unfortunate. It's also come from Shawnee had that one that he kind of half threw and then it went into the ground. 30 and Baddock's had that little miscommunication. So it's just interesting to see with maybe Brady not as present, how that next unit of leaders are kind of struggling a little bit with that, as you say, the composure.
Yeah. I think we have seen. Do you reckon the turning point? I feel like the turning point in this game was when Brady got injured.
Yeah, I agree. And you'd say I-Beam still had the advantage and was starting to gain a bit of momentum, but from that moment is really when you've seen them start to pull away, both in terms of the energy and also on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Okay, so Chris Hill. This line from I-Beam has the chance to win the game if they can get the turn and get the goal. Meanwhile, Outbreak, they have to dig in here and give their supporters something to take away. Big outside in pull, a real skyscraper. Goes into the hands of Lockie Earl, centres to Davis.
Better.
Yep.
So they move it right back around. Shawnee. Nice bid from Doherty, but it allows a little bit of flow. That's okay from Sean. Gets it, saves it with a big bid. And there's going to be a call from Lefty about 30 metres away. No, he's waving it away. He just wanted to double check.
Well,
I think maybe there's a pick call, so we'll try this.
Well, Lockie Earl is one of the handlers who is busting along. He's got the speed on Tim Hayes, but it's a narrow lane he was running down.
Yeah, so Earl and Hayes just working out what the separation was. Nice bid from Shawnee, it must be said. Count's getting up. He looks at the bigger wide around to Turnbull. Turnbull sees, shoots. It's a flick. Chili's peeling off the back, but it's not going to work. It's a beautiful throw.
No!
And that's the last throw, and Chili's off. Not coming.
Srinivasan there, just couldn't hang on. And the clap catch.
Doherty to Hill. Hill sees a big backhand, doesn't throw. Moves back around. Doherty. Got a bit of Jimmy Mickle about him, old Doherty. Throws inside. This is Chris Kerr. Chris Kerr, a bit of Dave O'Brien about Chris Kerr. Dave O'Brien, Wavy Dave's love child. Going back, it's Prosser. It is Prosser. Oh, and a huge D!
Get that man on the goannas. Under 24s.
Roberts
going to Spain this year.
Keeps the game alive with a massive under D. Keeps Outbreak in it. And now it's going to be Shawnee Davis. Sean, he gets hand blocked by Prosser.
What a point. Oh, just a little bit greedy from Sean there.
Well,
I could see what he wanted, but the hand of Prosser said no.
So Stoddart has it. They're talking about the disc. Stoddart says to Roberts, what do you think of the disc? He goes, mate, I don't have to throw it. I don't care. It's your problem.
Is that the second mould or first mould disc? What are we using here?
Yeah, the disc flies.
It's...
Lefty wants another disc.
Ever the professional. He's a details man.
All right, so Roberts marking Stoddart. Stoddart got the game on his boot. Moves to Doherty. Doherty getting straddled by Turnbull. Nice wide mark. Chili goes up the line. His count's going to be getting high, so it's a stall 9 huck, and it's going to be Chris Stoddart running it down.
Oh, Stoddart for the goal, for the win. And who else but Liam Doherty to throw that one to close this game out. 15-9 to I-Beam. Oh, Mozza. What a great way to finish. What a point to finish on.
Yeah, highlights right up until the very last point. Both teams putting their bodies on the line, making the long cuts. Really great throws all throughout the game. And like you say, it's a great note to finish on. Doherty hitting Stoddard, lace out. A lovely way for IBeam to finish and to keep their campaign alive.
Yeah, the dream is alive, certainly for IBeam. And to see Brady there hobbling off, it's a tragic sight. And as we were saying, we feel like that was the turning point of the game when he went down, being crushed by Hugh Osborne. But I wish him all the best and hope he can come back during this tournament.
Yep. So, that is the first game of day 2 in the books, but don't go anywhere. We have plenty of action coming at you from both the open source free field as well as the one for the members and the subscribers. So, coming up next at 11 o'clock local, that's about 25 minutes time, we've got Sublime playing Mammoth. That is on the open field, as well as Ellipsis Asterix versus the Manly Mavericks here on this field for subscribers. So please jump on, support. Plenty more action to come. Greenie, it's been a great game. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next game.
ULTI.TV